this meeting to order of the Apple Valley Economic Development Authority. This is the meeting of December 23rd, 2025. First order of business is the approval of the agenda. Consent agenda items are considered routine. Do you have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve the agenda before we get on to the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
That's okay. Thank you. I'll do things in the right order then.
So let's go in the order they're numbered. How about that?
That's good. 3 comes after 2. Let's do approve of the agenda first. Second. Moved and seconded. Thank you. In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now we'll do the consent agenda.
I'll move approval of consent.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That carries. Move on to the regular agenda, which is item number 4A. Mr. Benetti.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the commission. Just a brief reminder of what we're asking for tonight is a consideration of an EDA resolution of support for allocation pool TIF funds to real estate equities. I'm going to go very quickly. I know you saw this last time, but this is our Gaslight site at 15584 Gaslight Drive. Real quick, 3.1 acre site owned by the EDA since 1997. Was an old park and ride site that was relinquished by the Met Council and MVTA through a quitclaim deed in midsummer of 2024. Some of you may recall we requested an RFP. Real Estate Equities was chosen to provide for a 5-story, 148-unit apartment project. On September 3rd, that was approved by our Planning Commission, and Council approved a revised 148-unit down to 144-unit. And here again are the site plan and elevation plans for that project. Right now, as summarized in the report, the estimated project cost is $55 million. The developer has applied to Dakota County CDA for allocation of 4% low-income housing tax credits, which are tax-exempt bonds. Developer stated that due to prevailing wage requirements, unique design, increased building and labor costs, higher interest rates resulting in an estimated $6+ million financing gap. Per the EDA of November 13th, developer provided a detailed explanation of the gap and increased costs, which is in the letter dated December 3rd, 2025. Developer is also here tonight to field any questions that you have on that letter or what contributed to that gap. So right now, what we've provided for to help close that gap is an $808,000 Met Council grant, also $1.25 million in our local affordable housing aid, from $750,000 from 2025 to estimated $500,000 from our projected 2026 funds, which we feel we will make up. Despite these contributions, there still remains a $4 million gap, and hence the developer is requesting that additional assistance through the CDA, through the allocation of those pool TIF funds, which we went over very quickly. This is that TIF number 11 PENOC, which is part of a multiple properties scattered through our community that have generated these TIFs dollars through the improvement of those projects. Right now, it's generated over 18 million, and approximately 8 million has been spent. And right now, the current balance is just over 11 million. CDA was asked to provide Northwind Finance, which is a financial consulting group that we also use to provide an independent financial analysis. And they found that concluded the proposed level of financial assistance as requested was reasonable. That's also included in your packet. And now the EDA is just simply asking for city support or encouragement for the Board of Commissioners to authorize those funds. So again, you're asked to adopt the resolution in your packet tonight. Again, I'm here to answer any questions if you have. Otherwise, any specific questions on the gap financing, I will defer to the developer, who's also here tonight as well. Also, representatives from our Dakota County CDA are here as well, Lisa and Maggie.
Okay. Mr. Rupa.
Tim, I know you said it and then I didn't write it down fast enough. Number of units in this project is?
144.
Perfect. And my other quick question is, this resolution supports spending some pool TIF the county is in control of, but is not asking for any additional city contribution
Correct.
beyond what you've already provided via the grants and those things, correct?
That is correct,
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Mr. President, and Commissioners. So the pool TIF funds are already been collected. They're still kind of waiting in a holding pattern by the CDA or county board. They can allocate those for these types of projects if they deem necessary or fit.
Thank you.
Ms. Rendell?
Thanks. So what was the dollar amount for prevailing wage added to the project?
I'm going to defer that to the applicant or the developer,
Okay,
please.
did I ask that at the last meeting?
I-
2.3 million? The legislature was thinking about on that when we want affordable housing, and then they add $2.3 million onto a project like this that I didn't know there was a problem.
Tim, why don't we have the developer come up? He's
Please.
probably in a little better position to answer, right, remaining questions on the gap and the like.
Sure,
Before you leave, Tim, I have a
of course.
when I was reading the report that you prepared, a word jumped out at me in one of the closing paragraphs that Northland Public Finance conducted, a cursory review. Now, somebody doesn't understand the right meaning of the word cursory, I'm hoping. In my book, that means kind of surface, kiss it as you walk by, not a detailed review, not a thorough review. Cursory is not a word that I like to see when we're talking millions of bucks.
Sure. It was a direction of the CDA to ask Northwind to just provide an initial assessment. Usually, when you get into the detailed analysis, like a TIF review, there's a lot more work that goes into that. Again, this was just, again, hence the term cursory, was just a quick review made by Northwind just to see, is this reasonable? And again, I believe they went over the pro forma, the added costs, and determined that if pool TIF was allocated here, it would be considered a reasonable request or a reasonable allocation.
But at some point before the money got freed up, there'd be a thorough review, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah, why don't we-
please.
Hello, my name is Lisa Alfson, Dakota County CDA. Thank you for having us here tonight. I can share, President, that we have staff, we have housing finance staff who underwrite all the deals that come towards us to do these projects. And they do a very thorough job of vetting this. What we had asked Northland was, typically when we come to you or into any of our cities, we ask them to do a thorough review of creating a new TIF district. This is not a new TIF district, this is pooled TIF. And so we wanted a third party to look at this and be able to say, in your knowledge of all the projects that they've seen, what does this look out of line to you? It's a big number for us. What do you think? And that's what we had asked Tammy and her staff to consider. And so that's where she wanted to say a cursory review. She didn't get into all the details, to all the numbers. We have staff who've gotten into all those numbers. All of those numbers look reasonable. And that's what Tammy is looking at as well, is what I liked was that last paragraph of what they typically see when a project's like this for a gap, it's about a 10% in from the public, right? This is at 11%. That's not extraordinary for them. That at 11% could be done if there are extraordinary things that you're obtaining as a part of that deal. She has cited it's near transit and this is city-owned, a desire from the city. So there's different things that can add to the benefit of doing that project. So I hope that helped answer the question.
So,
Any other questions for the developer?
For the developer, yes.
Okay.
Ms. Kurtz,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, good evening, Chair and Commissioners. I'm Blaine Barker with Real Estate Equities. Also here is Patrick Ostrom.
My question to you is bidding a job. So when you bid a job, do you not look out 1 year to 2 years and think about the cushioning of what the percent will be of the increase in that time frame?
Commissioner Kurtz, we do. We always reach out to the contractor to get initial takeoff pricing before we have full plans based on, a site plan or schematic drawings. So we get that early and then continue to fine tune that as the drawings progress and eventually get full construction drawings and subsequently bids from all the subcontractors. Here, why we were so off on our estimate versus actual was the legislature passed this prevailing wage bill right around when the RFP was released by the city. And at that time, we hadn't fully realized and understood and quantified the impacts of that bill prior to making the application to the city in response to the RFP.
Okay, how about the additional question about the unique design of the project? What changed in the time between that and the bid?
Yeah, so our initial proposal showed a C-shaped building that, was fully connected. We envisioned a solution where we would be able to build over the existing sanitary sewer easement by sleeving it so that if it ever needed access, it could. It was ultimately deemed by city staff that was not viable, and we found that out after we had been awarded the RFP. So now the building is not fully connected, so there's a garage on the north side of the building and the south side of the building, and then also levels 1 and 2 don't connect either, so that that sanitary sewer easement that's running west to east is accessible.
And then lastly is the higher than expected interest rates. My research shows that the interest rates have decreased, not increased. So explain that to me, please.
Yeah, it's less about the interest rates on the reduced first mortgage sizing as it is the change to affordability levels. So when we responded to the RFP, we were averaging to 60% AMI, which is the maximum allowed under the federal low-income housing tax credit program. We have since added additional 50% AMI units and 30% AMI units so that we're not fully leveraging that first mortgage. And we did that for 2 reasons. One was we applied to LCDA, Met Council, for funding. They want to see deeper affordability as a condition to their funding. And then also in talking with Dakota County CDA staff who are here, I don't want to speak for them, but they had expressed an interest in this development, including some additional affordability as well.
Thank you. No further.
Other questions? Do we have a vote?
Yeah, I don't have any further questions, so. Maybe ask Tim. Tim, what's the action we're asking for here again this evening, and just so everybody's clear?
Thank you, everyone.
Mr. President, members of the commission, you are asked to adopt or consider a resolution. Sorry.
It's all right. Take your time.
This thing is. You're asked to adopt an EDA resolution of support, and this is just a resolution of support for the allocation of available pool TIF increment funds by Dakota County to assist in this financing for Valley Station.
And that resolution goes ultimately to Dakota County CDA for them to make the final decision. Is that correct?
And they would use that as probably an addendum to a staff report that they're prepared for a public hearing that will be coming up, I believe, sometime in January. Corrected.
Thank you. Just a small clarification, that public hearing has yet to be scheduled at this point in time. But if and when it is scheduled, that would be, this would be something that the executive director has asked to be added to show the support from the city.
Thanks, Lisa.
Okay. Commissioner Grindle.
Mr. President, my concern is, we went out for an RFP and this one didn't need any government financial assistance. I mean, do we go back to the drawing board and see what the other people, what they bid? And see, and make it, I mean, apples to apples maybe, because right now, I mean, what is it, a 20% subsidy now, what we're looking at for the project? Well, maybe I would have looked at one of the other projects differently.
Mr. Paul?
I would just see what Councilmember Grinnell said is true, right? We came in, it's a different assumption. My question would be, and it's hard to know without going back, is would everybody else kind of be in the same boat due to these same changes? I don't think anybody had fair notice of the prevailing wage, and that's probably the biggest hit in this one to me, but I can't say that with any clarity, right? Regardless of resolution or no, this still goes forward to the CDA board for action. It's just whether we want to support using the pooled TIF in Apple Valley that was generated from other Apple Valley projects, correct?
That is correct.
To support this project, or we don't want to make that statement tonight, but either way, this still goes to the CDA board to decide.
That is correct as well.
Mr. Bergman?
Chair, to me, for the first time I've heard this from the time I've sat up here, available pool tax, that's all new to me. So I've kind of listened to what Mayor Hoopa has to say and Ruth has had to say. So it would still go back to the county to let them make a decision on this, correct?
That is correct.
Mr. President, I guess what I can support is making sure that pooled TIF that was generated from projects in Apple Valley gets returned to Apple Valley projects. That part I can support. Whether it's right, this project and this developer was another one. I do like that idea of making sure that those dollars that effectively, right, we're hitting our taxpayers are getting used back here in Apple Valley. And if you go back to the drawing board, I don't know that I can guarantee that by the time you get a new project brought forward either. And I guess for that reason, and also watching the time, but for that reason, and we can continue discussion, I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution of support, and we'll leave it to the CDA and their math and authority to determine if this is warranted or not warranted.
I'll second it.
Second? Did I hear a second?
Councilmember Bergman was your second.
Bergman, yes. All right, in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Nay.
That's a 5 to 2.
Thank you.
So that moves us forward to communications, items in communications.
Mr. President, in the interest of time, we have none.
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second, in favor?
Aye.